Welcome to the Abentertainment Podcast. Welcome. So today we're going to talk about Jada Pinkett and herself and her book called Worthy. And we're going to get into a little bit of her and Will Smith. So her book called Worthy has sold 27,000 copies. So it's considered to be a flop right now because she's made a lot of press runs. She's done a lot. She's famous. They expected more copies to be sold to be number one New York bestseller. It's not there yet. It's still a possibility, but it's not there yet. I'm interested in getting the book myself because I feel like it has some things that I didn't know outside of Tupac and the whole she didn't want to marry Will Shabaco. I kind of would like to read about that, but at the same time, it's like she went on so many press runs that she did talk about too much of the book that it's like, why we got to read the book if you already told us what's in it. As far as suicide, she wanted to commit suicide. As far as her selling drugs, as far as her and Will Smith's marriage, her being separated for a lot of years now, which means that when she was with August and when Will slapped Chris Rock, it all was a time they were not together. I like Jada Pinkett because she's very articulate. She's very real when it comes to like expressing herself and all of that. And I feel like she regrets a lot of things, but overall she's happy with her life, you know? And that's most of us, you know? If we could go back in time and change some things, we would, because we know different, you know? So I don't blame her for that part. I do believe Will Smith has put her through some things where she feel like she has to express certain things about Will that the world doesn't like because we all like Will Smith. But we weren't in a relationship with Will Smith, you know? We don't see the bad parts of Will Smith. So for her to express that part, that's all good because it's all real. It's her truth. And we don't see that part, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. Same thing with her, like we see the beautiful Jada, we don't see the ugly part of her, you know? And so it's the same thing. Will Smith's book, I think, was more successful because it was more about his family life with his father and growing up with his mother and his adventures versus Jada Pinkett Smith and bashing on Jada, you know? So I don't know how to feel. I don't know. I feel like August Alsina is a gifted man. So she took it upon herself to be with that gifted man. And ain't nothing wrong with a younger gifted man, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that he told the world before her was a big deal, you know? It was like he must have been in love because he wants to rat on her, you know? And then you have the slap, and it's like he rolled for you. You were supposed to ride for him, even though it was wrong, and you knew it was wrong. That's your man. He slapped him for you. You should have rolled for him. So a lot of people are upset with her about not riding with him. And I kind of agree because it's like, man, like I almost had a whole fight for you about you and you not riding with me. You know, it's crazy. That something similar happened to me in St. Croix because it wasn't exactly the same, but it was similar. It was like I'm holding a chair for my son and my best friend, and people were having attitudes with me for holding chairs for them. And I almost had a fight because I'm trying to defend their seats and their place. And they came out the bathroom like they didn't care, and I'm over here about to fight over holding y'all seat. Like, y'all supposed to ride for me, ride with me, which I forced them to, but they really wasn't trying to. Like, they didn't care, and I was like, no, I was about to fight a whole girl about this chair. Like, you're gonna sit in the chair. So I don't know. I feel like we're gonna continue to hear about Jada and Will. They are a famous married couple that everyone looked up to, cared about, wants to know about. So, what are your thoughts about the whole Jada Pinkett book?
I don't know nothing about that.
Her book called Worthy. It didn't sell a lot. Why do you think it didn't sell a lot? Because of the bashing of Will Smith, or because they don't like Jada? Look at her Apple Watch, y'all. She thinks she's so cute. She get on my nerve. But yeah, it could be either or. I don't know. Jada, we love you. We hope that you sell more copies, because you are a very wise woman that people can learn a lot from. You have great wisdom, and Will Smith as well. And I'm glad that he stuck by you. He made a live announcement that he was going to rock with you to the end, and that was beautiful to see. You know, even though y'all may not be in love, y'all gonna forever have love, and that's dope to see. I don't know if that hurt her too, because it's like he's rocking with you no matter what, and you not. It makes his character look better than yours as well, you know. So I don't know. That's something else too, boy. But I know she got some more dirt. I know when they first started in their marriage, everybody was saying they were swingers. We heard a lot of rumors about them being swingers. Now it's like they weren't swingers, but they were cheating on each other all the time. Then, of course, raising their children with a lot of freedoms of letting the children pick and choose their own kind of mind and their own kind of things. To the rumors of Will Smith being gay now is another big deal. It's like, what? He's gay. He might be gay. That's why he's not saying anything. I don't know if Will's gay or not, but a lot of men in Hollywood have tried to be with other men. It's a sick thing, but it's real. It's real. It's happening, and it's like the people that you least expect are out here sleeping with men. So I don't know. We was talking about it at the barbershop too. We was like, for some man to like continue to take the belittling of his manhood, it has to be like a big secret. It has to be something that she has over him that she hasn't said, which I think is him being gay. He doesn't want that being outed. He doesn't want her saying that part of his life. He allows her to say everything else but that, or something like that. I don't know. It has to be something, because he hasn't really defended himself much against a lot of allegations, a lot of thoughts. They have a beautiful family. She did also say she was forced to be married because she got pregnant. She did not want to get married. She cried her whole wedding day. So she wanted to live in a farm, not a mansion, all these things. And it's like, we know these things. Again, why should we buy the book? I feel like we should buy the book because it will have things that we don't know that she's not touching on, which is wisdom and experience on like her fame in Hollywood, what she went through. Did she go through the Me Too movement? I would like to know that. I bet she did. A lot of people probably try to holler at her back in the day. Stuff about like her children, how she raised them, their upbringing maybe. More details about her parents and how she went through growing up with her grandmother and all of that, because that's a big deal too. When you don't grow up with your parents, you grew up with your grandma. I know firsthand, I grew up with my grandmother, not my parents. So it's a big deal. It's a different kind of upbringing. And it's not a lack of love so much, but it's a different upbringing. It's not the same kind of love. Also, I would think she was talking about, more details of her wanting to commit the suicide. She said she wanted to drive off a cliff. Like what really made her feel like that? What were those real deep things that had her feeling like that? So I feel like there's still stuff that we don't know that's in the book. That's why we should get the book. But a lot of people don't want to support her because of the way she's talking about Will Smith or whatever. And I think it's unfortunate because we could learn a lot from both of them, and he said that's his best friend forever, which is probably not true, but I'm glad he's supporting her. I didn't see a lot of support from her children, and I think it's because of the whole Tupac stuff. Like, I don't know. That's another thing too. It's like Tupac been there for a long time, and she knows a lot about Tupac that we don't know. But is she making some things up? Some people feel like she is. Is she dragging the whole Tupac and her scenario? Is it that real for her? We have so many questions, but I think that was somebody she truly loved. She lost, and she didn't let go. And we all know that. It's all over TikTok and everything. So, we all have that one person you really, really fall in love with and really, really wish you could have been with. And she's saying that they didn't have no physical attraction or physical something, she said, but that has to be a lie because that man was beautiful. She was beautiful. He was really rocking for her. She really liked him and still can't stop talking about him. So they had to have something. If she would have got into details of her, being with Tupac like that, then that would have been a whole nother scandal. So I don't know if she's doing it right or not, but it's her way, and it's all right. It's her way, I feel like if she would get into details about her and Tupac being together, it would blow up the internet. But then at the same time, it's like we kind of know it, or in our mind imagine that y'all had something going on because of the way you talk about him still. And he's been with most women in the industry. He was with Left Eye. He was supposed to be with the Brad. He was supposed to be with a bunch of women. So it would not be shocking that you guys slept together. It would not. I think the shocking part would more so be like how it happened, when it happened, that kind of stuff. But I don't think she's ever going to say nothing like that, She did say he proposed to her in jail. I didn't really believe it. A lot of people didn't believe it because it's like, why would you not want to marry the guy you so-called love the most in the world? But she's saying that it was more because he was in prison. He needed somebody, not more so to be just a married couple. So I don't know. It's a lot going on with Jada and the book, and I'm loving to watch some of her tours and her stops at the podcast and things like that she's detailing and talking about certain things. She's a very wise woman. She's 50-something years old, and she has a lot of wisdom for the world. And I'm okay listening to it. I still respect Will too, as a man, as him being part of our childhood with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the comedy and just Will in general, He's always been a motivating, loving man. to the world. And so that's what we know him as, and I don't know. I know that every relationship has its problems, has its flaws. So she would be the only one to tell us about the bad things about Will, her or his ex-wife. And his ex-wife did some bashing, and we kind of let it go because she was not really a somebody. But we don't let it go with Jada because she is a somebody. So it's just crazy. The world is nuts at this point. But she knows some very wise people, like the doctors, the psychologists that she interacts with, that they talk to her, counsel her family. So they always have some great beings to share, some great, some great knowledge for the world. And I really, really love that part. I did sit down and watch that. She has a really handsome psychologist with the green eyes. He looks Indian. He's really, really wise. I'm sorry I forgot your name right now, but he has some great wisdom about, interaction, dealing with people, the feelings we get, why we get them, how to control them, those kind of things. He's real big on emotion, understanding, all that stuff. So I feel like we will always need that kind of stuff when dealing with the world. We need therapy, we need love, we need all of that, and learning how to control our emotions, learning how to adapt to the stresses of the world, on top of relationships, on top of children, on top of all of that. So it's just a lot sometimes, it's like, yeah. But other than that, I think that she should continue with her Red Table. That was a great, great show. And Will should continue traveling and exploring the world as he does so courageously, because he does things that people would never do. And just continue to love up on each other, because love wins, Love wins. Alrighty, I love you. Have a great day. Dios te bendiga. Some days she wake up with an attitude, and some days she's chilling. It's like, you don't know what you're going to get with teenagers, I'll tell you. But she loves listening to music, child. I got her that Apple Watch, and she was so excited and just so yay. She don't want to let it go. So that's great. I'm happy. She feels so happy. And that's about it. So like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your families to subscribe, to follow, to purchase. We have our shirts for $14.99, the A&B Entertainment Podcast shirts. That's our merch. We have books. I have 3 books. Living Life, Not Just Alive, Living Life Through Poetry, and Destined for Greatness for children. What else? So we have the books, we have the shirts, we have our podcast is on all streams: Patreon, Spotify, YouTube, podcasting on YouTube, and yeah. So check us out, support, and know that we love you. This is the A and B conversation, and now it's time for you to what? See your way out. Listen, this is a mother and daughter podcast. We are a positive podcast. We speak about all kinds of things. If you have any ideas or any questions or any subjects that you want us to talk about, please comment down below. Please comment, send us an email, All links are in the bio for information for the shirts, as well as our email is in our bio. We love you. Peace.